Welcome back. The Biden administration is trying to tout its so-called Bidenomics. However, more Americans are not convinced that it's actually working. A new Fox News poll shows 45% of voters say that their personal financial situations are falling behind, though 43% report they're holding steady. The slightly slowing inflation rate pushing people to have more faith in the economy than they did last month. 76% classifying the economy as only fair or poor. Lou, this whole idea of Bidenomics, people can't even understand what it is because it's been lots of spending, it's been lots of regulation, and it's been an effort to raise taxes.
Yeah. Tax and spend, is that really an economic policy that profits other people? I think it's
not a growth story.
No,
it's not a growth plan.
It's not a growth story, so it doesn't surprise me here that Main Street is just as divided as Wall Street is. Wall Street can't decide whether or not we're heading for a recession, and Main Street is trying to figure out, really, are these economic policies helping me? And here in this latest survey, the stat that stood out to me, that 53% of Americans believe that these policies are only benefiting a certain group, and only 6% believe that includes them. So we're seeing what I would characterize as really a rolling recession, where there's, on a sector by sector or industry basis, some industries are experiencing growth and profit margin and wage increases, where others are flat and people are disappointed. If we look through the media landscape, and if we look in banking even, you're seeing huge cuts and lacks of bonuses. So I don't disagree here. I'm in the camp of, I'm in a mix. I don't see that the economic policies are doing anything positively here.
Yeah, and yet, Cherise, I think this is going to be the centerpiece of Biden's campaign for 24.
Which is fascinating to me, because Americans are going to associate this entire Bidenomics concept with failure, debt, and spending. And, when you're looking at what the Biden administration is prioritizing with spending, this is green energy initiatives, student loan forgiveness, things that the American people aren't necessarily asking for right now in large numbers. And when you're looking even further at kind of like, why would you want your administration associated with this key term that everyone's thinking of as failure with economics? Is it self-sabotage? What's going on here? Is this maybe the Dems trying to push Biden out and eventually see if they can slip someone else new in because they know they can't win with him? So that is kind of a question that we're asking. How much does Biden actually know about Bidenomics, right?
Yeah, well, that's right. But, I think because some people feel that the economy has performed better than they thought that we would be in a recession, a steep recession right now, the administration is jumping on that as if it's something that they did to cause things to be less than not as bad as some expected. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates, and the economy has slowed as a result.
Yeah, I think they may be taking a premature victory lap here, though. We've got a long way before the next presidential election. A lot can happen economically between now and then. We've spoken about it on recent shows that the full impact of Fed rate increases takes sometimes 12 to 18 months. So, fast forward 12 months from now, and a recession may be underway at that point if the Fed goes a little bit too far, and we see, the labor market weaken, which is perfectly conceivable given the amount of time that we've got between now and the next election.
So how important is today's number, the PCE index? Lou, this is supposed to be the favored inflation measure for the Fed.
It is, but I think it's important to see that it's at least stabilized. If it's come down some, I don't think that's going to deter the Fed from raising rates another 1 or 2 times. You had Powell out this week talking about the fact that we probably need multiple rate hikes, a position that I've argued as well, just because the strength of the economy is there. But really, 25 basis points is a blunt tool, right? It's not a precise increment to raise, so we really won't know until we fast forward 12 months from now. So I think PCE, everyone wants to see a number for the markets to keep going higher. They want to see a number that's in line or better than expected, and we'll see this rally continue.
Meanwhile, Cherise, he still wants more stimulus, even though all of this stimulus is the fact that the reason we got to 40-year high inflation. We're waiting on a decision from the Supreme Court about Biden's student loan forgiveness plan.
Right. Yeah, and what's going on right now is they're talking about spending upwards of $300 billion on this student loan forgiveness program. That is the GDP of countries like Finland and Portugal. This is a huge number that we're talking about. And again, if this is a premature victory lap, what are we talking about? With interest rates, the American people are going to start noticing, as we talked about the numbers earlier, they do not think the economy is going in the right direction. And many of them actually are moving around the country based on economic standards. You see this huge flood out of California, I think around 40%. I was was recently hearing that 40% of Californians say they're leaving now because of the economic downturn in that state. So people are paying attention to this. This is a big issue for them. And if the Biden administration is going to come out and be like, yep, we're doing great. Everything's great, guys. And, you know, let's just go ahead and drop another $300 billion on student loan forgiveness. And the American people are paying attention. They actually really do care about this issue.